Hello everyone. This is the last of this series, and it's the first time I've ever actually done about 9 videos in a row or whatever it's been. Thank you for sitting through these. For those of you that just like looking at records, I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy this pile too. It's the letters T to Y, I guess. I don't have any Z's in this pile. The first album is Talking Heads. It's one of the later Talking Heads albums. It's called True Stories. Just flips over like that. Now this album is kind of obscure. It's from around 1969, and it's by a band called Tarantula. I think in the States though they say Tarantula, but in Canada we call it Tarantula. It looks like a spider here. And very obscure band, apparently kind of psychedelic. I haven't played it yet, but the bass player Oz Bach used to be in Spanky and Our Gang. 10cc, this is their first album, including the hit Rubber Bullets. And I've always been finding the second one, the one with the yellow cover, thinking that I didn't have the yellow one, but it was the white one that I'd been missing. So I was glad to finally find this. Thin Lizzy, Johnny the Fox. Really, really nice cover on this Thin Lizzy album. It's one of the albums from the 70s. That was when they were really at their best. It's on Vertigo. Thompson Twins, Here's to Future Days. This is from the 1980s. This one I was pretty happy to find. It's Thundermug Ta-Da. Now Thundermug were a Canadian band in the 1970s, and they're from London, Ontario. I believe this is their third album, and I do have their other 2 albums. The first one is particularly good. Here's a picture of them playing here in concert live at Nathan Phillips Square in Toronto, which is City Hall, Toronto City Hall. Toyah and Fripp, The Lady or the Tiger, and I'd never seen this until I came across it. Toyah being Toyah Willcox, and Robert Fripp from King Crimson, her husband. They're a couple. That's a British copy. T-Rex, Mark Bolan. It's just called T-Rex. I believe this is the album that came up before Electric Warrior. Now this album is a really excellent album. Ultravox, it's their first album with John Fox as the vocalist, and I showed the first solo John Fox album earlier in this series. It was before Midge-Ure was in the band. And as I said, this is an exceptional album. Very, very, very good. You know, one of the better new wave albums. U2, Joshua Tree. Wet Willie, the wetter the better. Wet Willie were a southern rock band, I think originally on the Capricorn label, like the Allman Brothers. This one's on Capricorn as well. Yep. Johnny Winter, Austin, Texas. And this album is a reissue of what was an earlier album called, I think, The Progressive Blues Experiment, that had a cover where Johnny was looking into the back of a stainless steel dobro with kind of a mirror reflection or something. And then United Artists later reissued it with this cover, which is not such a nice cover. Very bland, but it's the identical record. Paul Winter, The Winter Consort, Icarus, which is a jazz album of a type. Kind of a new age jazz album, I believe. Wishbone Ash, there's the Rub, the British band Wishbone Ash, and this looks like a Hypnosis cover, perhaps. I think playing some cricket or something here. The pitcher's ready to bowl. Yes, 90125, with the hit single Owner of a Lonely Heart. Neil Young's album Zuma with Crazy Horse from the 1970s. And the last album I'm going to show to you is kind of a sound effects record. It's on Audio Fidelity in stereo. It's one of these records that you want to use to test your stereo with, but it's also pretty cool to listen to. It's the Winter Nationals 1964 Championship Drag Races from Pomona in California. Super stocks, eliminators, dragsters, all the good stuff. Thanks for watching, and thanks for sitting through this series. I appreciate it, and any comments are welcome. Thank you, everyone.